Oh, hi everyone. Looks like we might be back live.
Can we?
I've done this all year.
Yeah. I guess you have.
Yeah. And
we're not back yet.
We're not back yet?
Oh, there we are.
We are back yet. So hi everyone, Chris May here. We were just not sure whether we were live yet. But I think that we are, and we're about to watch round 34, a three-peat between Mark Nyman and David Eldar on the top table. Dave with now a commanding lead over the field. I think it's a game and handsome spread going into round 34, and we'll try and get you the round 33 standings as soon as possible. Jesse Matthews is going to step out of the booth for a second, and if you could let the staff know that we'd love to get current standings, that would be great. Meanwhile, joined by Andrew Fisher, my countryman who has just finished his match with Cholopat. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, greetings. I had a nice start in that. Cholopat started with G-I-G-U-E, and I had conch, N and a blank. Contemplated conching, not sure about that, but I then spotted Chacon onto the E for 101, which gave me a good start. He did pull back very nicely, so I only won by 17 in the end, but so it was a cracking game, high-scoring game.
And seems like a rapid one as well, because
we both used about 10 minutes, so well done.
Cool. If only we were getting some games like that on board one instead of these slow coaches that we've been watching constantly.
No, we didn't cogitate much at all.
So I don't know if you were able to catch much of the last two rounds. But Dave has just delivered two horrible beatings. He's drawn the bag basically in both, but especially in the last game. Mark got burned go after go after go with fishing plays at the start, and Dave was just brutal, toying with the two blanks, timing his last bingo, and really torturing Mark.
I did see the win play from David, which I thought was excellent, just in passing between games. Set himself up for the cue with an eye draw, and happened to block two bingos from Mark as well, which was as if he was mind reading.
Yeah, and I think he's feeling very, very confident going into a third consecutive game with Mark. Mark showed visible frustration with his body language, resignation throughout most of the last part of the game, but he even hit the table in frustration after one of his unsuccessful fishes, which is really playing into the hands of someone like Dave.
It is.
Who basically started playing poker.
Yeah, of course.
So it looks like they're
I guess it's Mark to start.
Just about set. I actually thought that it was Dave to start, but maybe wrong. We'll find out soon enough. By the way, don't feel obliged to sit in here for the entire game. If you'd rather go to lunch, feel free to go and grab that.
If the smell gets too tempting, I might disappear.
How have you gone today so far?
4-1.
4-1. Not bad.
Yeah, well, I was a bit downfield, but it's not too bad.
We're looking at the results after round 32, so you're on 19 wins now.
In top 10, I guess.
Still 4 games off the pace.
Yeah.
So it looks like Mark is to play. And
needs a win here.
Yeah, well, the tournament almost needs Mark to get a win here.
Yeah. Nigel's spread also fearsome.
Indeed. He's the only one within Kui of catching. So if those two, Nigel and Dave, end up playing a string of games and Nigel gets a string of wins, we could see the tournament evening out a bit.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be good. Meanwhile, Esther, she's on an amazing streak. She was, as you probably know, well and truly on the top table on day one.
Yes.
Played heaps of interesting games with Nigel. And she had a really dodgy streak on day 2 and ended up going down as far as 29th. With a 7-8 record after 15 games, but has stormed through. I think she's had a clean score sheet since round 24. She's
8 wins in a row. Yeah.
I think it's up to 8 or 9 wins in a row before this game.
Currently playing Jessie, so Okay, Mark has his wreck.
Hang on, we have a problem with our feed here because that's actually the start of an older game, as far as I can tell. What I'm looking at right now is a DEIRRTX.
Shall I go and catch up with Henry?
Yeah, would you mind? I'm going to try and sort my feed out. So sorry guys if you're hearing this. I'm just going to I'll be silent for a while I try and work out the problem with my visual feed. It looks like I'm not getting what's going on right now. Okay, hi guys. Just got the correct stream up on our visuals, so sorry it took me a little while to clock that I was watching a repeat of a game rather than the live one, so hopefully you're all getting us now. It'd be great if you could just type into the chat if you're hearing me say this, and I've got Andrew back. So we've missed the first couple of plays here. Looks like Dave opened with rebuy, not sure what he kept, and Mark paralleled with Fogey for a healthy 41 points, but Dave with the blank, and he's hit that with Edamata. So thanks Susan, confirming that you can hear our coverage, and great to have you with us on the chat as well.
I just spotted that Esther is about 10 points behind Nigel with about 6 moves played.
Okay, so hopefully everyone's now watching the same feed. And Dave goes again up with an early blank bingo. He's really drawing like heaven this morning so far. And Mark's heart will have sunk. He would be hoping for an easy game, not a tough one.
Yeah.
And, well, there aren't very many easy ones against Dave. Let's note the O-hook available on top of that bingo.
And pre-buy as well. It's unlikely to be played.
So Mark would be looking at playing VIFDA off that rack, and it plays from K1.
K1, yes.
May not be the best play. Haven't seen anything good with the O yet, though.
Fonda.
Oh, look at Dave. That's
Wow.
ridiculous. Come on. This is unfair.
So Fonda he might play a leading IB.
So Dave, easy bingos, multiple regions of the board, and a 60-point lead. Already looking bleak for Mark Nyman. He's going to want to get a good draw here to stay in it.
If you just float the V, then David can't capitalise, I don't think.
Variance 90-gram, right?
He's in Tarsia. If you wouldn't play.
Is it 3 or 4 sevens that his rack makes? I think back when I began studying the game, there were only 3, but I have this idea that a 4th one might have crept in at some stage over the years. No, still just 3. The old anti-AUS artisan Serena job.
There's entradas around the D.
Indeed, the double is on. But I think Mark is probably going to play something in that quadrant. Goes for Vifta. It looks like the standard line, and I
think
have
it's a good play.
no quarry.
It's a better lead.
Quarrels with it.
Opens up a line for 7s.
So Dave is left to choose between row 14 moves and Intarsia. And I think the pure score weight of a row 14 play is going to decide it in favour of that. And that will presumably be... Well, I was going to say it would presumably be Tsarina for points.
Yeah, well that opens up 2 hot spots.
But he might like the right angle of one of the of anti-Rs as well, to kind of lock out the bottom right. That's an interesting positional choice.
Yeah.
And you can bet your life Dave's taking it very seriously as an option.
Yeah, Yingling Po's just spotted that Mark is going to have Zinko if David leaves that spot alone.
So he goes for the points. And, well, it's nice to see that Mark's got that Zinko, because it keeps him in the match. And I kind of hoping Dave doesn't just draw another easy bingo or something here. That would be horrendous. Meanwhile, guys, if you're interested in current standings, the website has been updated, so you can now see everything as it currently stands going into the current game. And if you'd rather not do that, I'm going to read out a little bit of information. As we've said, Dave has currently a 1-game lead over the field. He's got 23 wins and a margin of 1868. That's very handsome indeed. 3 players chasing him, a game behind. Nigel Richards, 13.04, the only one within striking distance of the margin. Esther Perrins, 22, on a decent spread of 8.49, and Mark Nyman on 22 wins as well, but at negative 225, he ain't going to be overtaking anyone on margin. And they're the clear 4. They've broken away. It's a 2-game gap back to 5th place. Harshan and Irene Sadhu both on 20 wins, and Dave Wiegand on 19.5. And then a very strong contingent on 19 players, including Andrew, who's sitting to my left, also with Jesse Day, Alistair Richards, and Tatcha on 19. But it's all about the top 4 at the moment. Dave, Nigel, Esther, and Mark, and those players are going to be interplaying for the next couple of rounds, the foreseeable future.
David's drawn 3 S's.
He did that before. In the last game he drew 3 S's and had so S's in 2 high scoring positions. So that's the kind of morning he's been having.
You can spend them all with Swiss. Is that good? Swiss.
Speculating on air about whether words are valid. I've been doing quite a lot of that. Swiss is fine. But Wiss is fine as well, is it not? So I think that looks a good play.
It's possible to play, is it? Yeah. That would probably crumple Mark's hopes as well. Spending 2 S's in one move.
Can you guess who Nick Ferns is? We haven't
Nick Ferns?
We haven't outed him so far, but I think we know who he is.
I think he might be an Aussie.
So Dave's probably looking long and hard at Wiss as a candidate play here. However, I mean, he holds the last S's, right?
Yep.
So without the blank, there's no way for Mark to take advantage of that O column, that very juicy O column. So the way Dave has been playing, he's been really investing in future turns on the board. We might even see something like WO. He may think that the north-eastern triple is actually more of a threat for Mark to make good play with.
Yeah.
Could even play E now or WO, or even Snow.
Snow, yes. Pretty nice.
Guys, we're not seeing many suggestions in the chat for what Dave might do, but there are a number of very interesting options, so do keep the chat active, chime in and let us know what you think. No surprise to see him taking a bit of time here. Jason Katzbrown also thinks Snow's an attractive play, and I have to say I agree. I'm liking it more and more.
It's fun. It's better than now.
So he's decided on something. Lots of love for Snow, and Dave has played it. The old BP combo on Mark Nyman's rack.
Ah, nice.
Just the kind of thing that really drives you to distraction when you've been handed a ton of bad draws already in the day.
Beano, maybe.
Beano looks nice, doesn't it? Any objections to Beano in the chat?
You've got Anaesis to come down.
Oh,
Game over?
maybe not quite yet, but God. I think it's Groundhog Day in here. I mean, I might as well have just watched the same game again.
Yeah.
Kenji says, this really is not a bad board to be 2 bingos down on. I guess you should count your blessings. I think the pool is a bad pool to be 2 bingos down on though.
Yeah, that's true.
With only 1 blank left and no S's, Mark will have his work cut out for him. And Mark's really done nothing wrong in this game. Just played a series of 5-letter words.
He's drawn the wrong tiles, that's all.
He has really. And Oasis
Quick bingo. They're eager for lunch, obviously.
straight away. Well, Dave might be. I think Dave's going to enjoy his lunch. I don't think Mark's going to enjoy his very much.
Mark is still 2 games clear, however, of 5th. Is that what you said?
He is now.
So he'll be playing Esther or Nigel next, I guess.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. They should repair it as a straight King of the Hill at lunch.
Yeah.
So, assuming Dave wins this game, that will mean that he'll be playing the winner of Esther and Nigel.
Yeah.
Mark will play the loser of that match. Kenji's insisting that there's high entropy here. I'm a little bit surprised.
Well, you can bingo onto the ED, you can bingo with an ER onto Rift.
I guess the G-Com's
From
available.
the DA, you can make 7s.
8A is available. And there aren't that many cheap points, but there are a few cheap points available. For example, a J at N10
Definitely, yeah.
reduces entropy a bit on the board. And Mark's rank just isn't really getting better.
No.
Guess he's going to play down the end column and see what happens.
Yeah, probably.
Has Wu lined up on his rack? Presumably looking at N10.
Well, he keeps a T for that, I guess.
Sorry, run that by me again. What's the
He keeps a T to make a 2.
I think I'd be quite tempted to just play POW.
Yeah,
Keep auto back. Maybe that's incorrect. Maybe auto is just not a good enough leave here to try and maximise the comeback chances. I'm a little bit unsure actually, so do let us know in the chat if you think POW is a mistake. APTU, I'm not really drawn to that. Well, it goes for Wu, keeping up to. And it's going to be a bit of defensive manoeuvring from Dave, I expect here. Be interesting to see which region of the board he attends to first.
Not score much.
Yeah, so I expect a highly positional play here. I'd be tempted to look at playing around the centre of the board here, looking after that G column and 8 row stuff. The Beano, with the IU that he's got, Beano looks a bit difficult to work with.
Yeah. Chichu, pretty feeble.
Jesse Matthews is skiving off work here, torturing us by coming back into the booth with a plate full of lunch. Some of us are hungry, you know.
Oh, you can leave whenever you want. Having delicious quiche.
The green ones are great, I love those.
So you got Zorinas and Oasis. Amada.
So far it's another good game for David Eldar.
It's all top 5,000 bingos. Or less, probably.
Yeah, there's actually not been, especially compared to the last game, there's not been a lot to talk about in terms of strategy here. This has been a very low strategy game so far, purely because of the pickups that the two players have had. This is almost the first interesting move.
Hello, Jason Katz Brown. Well, you can come whenever you want. There's still a day and a half left to play here.
Maybe jackfruit, but there's no durian because that's banned from the hotel.
Yeah, durian is not allowed in the vicinity of the hotel, as the lift tell you every time you go in.
How has it been with Andrew alongside Chris? Am I fired?
Oh, he's pretty boring, really. Got no interesting ideas whatsoever. I don't know how he's such a top player.
Actually, we went out for dinner the other night, and somebody had durian ice cream. It was Terry Kangaroo.
I like it.
She tried the durian ice cream, and she found it completely disgusting.
Really?
I couldn't get the taste out of her mouth, and had to drink a gallon of water to get some sort of relief.
I really like durian ice cream. I've tried it myself.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I cast thee out. I love your Simpsons, so there's one for you.
Indeed.
Do it. That certainly kills a few lanes.
Nice call by Chris Light, but I think proposed that as a candidate play. Good to have you with us, Lipey. Is there any cricket today? So, Mark Nyman won't think he's out of this at all. 97 behind. Bingo lines on the board, or it's starting to get tighter as you'd expect. And a blank to get.
Yeah.
But tricky to see exactly what he can do to keep a favourable board for a catch-up here. Not totally sure whether he should be content with the lines that are existing or try and develop it in some way to get better ones.
You want to preserve the ED and def.
Yeah, exactly, which knocks out a play like PUD or similar to score and keep a decent bingo core. So maybe it's going to be a play somewhere in the bottom right, which is now immobilised for bingos, but still very much available for right balancing plays.
Yeah.
Precisely which tiles to get rid of, not the easiest of assignments. It'd be a bit easier if he had an R on his rack, which is a little bit better than the T. So it leaves like data, nowhere near as good as leaves like read. So PIU, which would otherwise be an obvious three-tile combinative dump, are a little bit problematic.
Yeah, but he'd love to draw an R or an L possibly, of which there are quite a few come.
Yeah, there are 3 R's unseen to him, which is handy. But I sort of understand he's taking some time here. I don't really see a play that solves all the problems that his rack presents. So there's so much Tui. Maybe Torpy down to the E of Beano might be worth a look. On second thoughts, that might be a little bit too easy for Dave to knock out many bingo lines at once afterwards.
Does he want to turn over tiles as well? To consider it.
So no, the only golden draw for him really is the blank. If there were lots of S's in the pool, I'd say maybe, but turnover here just hastens the end of the game as well.
Yeah. So he needs 2 bingos to outball David.
Most likely. And I see 0 attractive options for him here. An ADEIT can go so badly wrong if he just plays cup or whatever.
Maybe forced to do that.
Yep. It's an unenviable position. He could play York YAUP.
Or the pre-buy hook, maybe up and pre-buy.
He's decided that it's almost desperation time.
Update.
Plays update. So going for the turnover.
He wants that blank.
Well, I kind of like the play. I hadn't spotted it. Keeps him well within any kind of bingo and keeps the initiative on the board. That dictates Dave's board management strategy for the next turn. And if Dave has a bad rack, that could be a headache. So actually, not having spotted that play, I think I'm a fan of it. I think it's better than anything I had seen.
Being nice and jilted. Nice.
Yeah, that's true. Jilted. Good play.
Kenji really doesn't like this play. Tell us why, Kenji. We'd love to know.
Oh, he does have an E. Somehow 2 eyes are on the rack.
So,
So the feed was wrong.
so no, the feed was right.
Somebody was having a
Our
joke.
Quackle operator got overexcited about Dave having a jetliner. In fact, he had no more than jilted, no fear whatsoever about the triple. I think that's more than reasonable, considering that there's no S's and I think only one O on scene to him, and the OUS is what you're really worried about with the U in 7th position.
IUM potentially.
Yeah, IUM.
Tyrion could possibly go.
And Kenji hasn't yet given reasons. Here we go. It says, you're just ruining the rack and helping ruin the board. You don't want to go into that area of the board. We were struggling to find a play, Kenji, that didn't ruin the rack, or at least open it up to being ruined. So, curious to know what you thought the best play was there. Mark pulled the blank, pulled the X, pulled the K. Could he make a comeback here with a scoring play followed by a bingo? Like to see it, personally. Mux jumps out.
Yeah.
I think Mark's a bit unpredictable with this kind of play. He might play mix L4. Decide to keep that region open just to try and spook Dave a bit. I think he must be keeping one of the K and the X here. And you probably want to keep the K, so it's just a bit more bingo-y. You can also play, if I'm not wrong about this, he can play KA at B10, which at first glance looks a bit unorthodox, but it does set up the blank hook on the A column. He holds the only hooking tile for that.
That's good. It certainly flags he's got the blank, or maybe it doesn't.
Of course, it can be taken out by a reply from A11 down to A15, but there's no guarantee Dave has the tiles for that.
You could also play milk around the L, leaving the X both ways, and also an S hook.
Oh, that's a pretty cool play. Milk L11. Milk at 11A, guys. What do you reckon about that?
Doesn't score anything, unfortunately.
And only the one O to knock it out with Milko.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Milk is a very creative play. And Andrew Fisher in the booth,
No, I think it's doomed to failure, actually.
Yeah, maybe just a bit too cute. Got some interesting options here from Mark.
Good point. It also sets up a queue, so perhaps not a good idea.
Yeah, maybe let's nix that one. So Mark's a possibility. Mix in the northeast a possibility. KI B10 a possibility. Very likely some other good possibilities. Help us out. If you'd like to go for lunch, do feel free.
Okay. He does have the IM blank, so it's still possible IUM endings.
Yeah, true.
If he avoids that area. So that would perhaps rule out mix.
Welcome back to Nitya, to the stream. Nice to have you back. I have some updates from the other tables as I've been wondering.
Oh, cool.
Nigel just won a nail-biter, 15-point win over Esther in a very tight game. It was an endgame win for him. And Harshan just won by 100 over Irinde.
Oh, okay. So that sets up more than likely a series between Dave and Nigel after lunch, which is, a really attractive matchup in my view. Two of the most exciting players to watch. So I hope you guys will stay up late and stick with us for some of those games. We'll see some exciting play.
And of course, Esther and Mark will be at the next table down in our 3-4 matchup.
Hey, just saying to let you take the chair.
Sure.
I'll go and grab some lunch.
Thank you to Andrew Fisher.
Yeah, I was quite happy to go and get some lunch of my own for a little bit of time there, and then wander the floor.
I'm feeling really hungry here.
You can always bail if you feel like doing so. I was also checking my matches and swipes, and one person unmatched me after matching yesterday. Makes me sad.
Did you guys have a poor chat?
He didn't answer.
Oh no.
After one basic response, there was nothing after this. Made me sad. That's okay. You win some, you lose some.
Mix comes down at length. Guys in the crew, we'd quite like to see the clock times. See if either player is facing any time difficulties going into what might be a bit of a cagey late game battle. Dave plays Novum straight away, holding his cue and setting it up. What a beautiful play. I think he holds QI back on that rack if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And that's how to defend a lead.
That's very nice.
So Mark Nyman is the player who is down on time. And the chat feed, very, very approving, as I think we both are as well, of Dave's play. Really nice vision to see that he can make what was not usable two ways for the queue into a spot that's very much usable, and that Mark's fairly unlikely to play in unless it's a two-tail fish. Beautiful play from David Eldar, showing why he's leading the field. I think I'm going to go grab some lunch. I'm too hungry.
Do it by all means.
This is the effect of the table one delay.
Mark's he's got a great lead there. He doesn't know he's about to get burned. Well, maybe he knows he's about to get burned with a QI response. Shakier and ER and Reft immediately stands out as a play for him.
I saw the length of the queue and changed my mind, so I'm back watching the game. Well, I think with 100 points down, Mark should look really, really hard at KI, even if he doesn't have a bingo here. Even if he does have a bingo here.
And yeah, Nick in the chat has said something similar.
Right, yeah. No, I completely agree with that comment. Mark, if he's alert, should be alive to that queue danger. He may not suspect the setup, but he should certainly be aware of the spot.
Yeah.
And there's a good case for KI.
Ooh, and he's playing Hake.
Look, I don't like that one bit.
So he's passed on the bonus, but he's also passed on blocking the eye spot.
I mean, that's all over the place.
Yeah, I don't get that. And David's not going to hesitate really to play QI here, just to keep on padding his lead.
Looks like Dave's challenging the play.
Hey,
Which is quite funny.
Interesting.
Well, this is Dave Eldar all over. Very, very imaginative player, but his word knowledge isn't as solid as some of his colleagues, and he sometimes has doubts over short words. I think we saw him in the Collins Nationals play a phony front hook of Elm.
Oh yeah.
Which everyone probably remembers. But really, I think everyone in the chat will agree that if you're not going to bingo on that turn, there was only one play on the board given the queue threat, and that was KI. So, going to call that one as a cold error from Mark Nyman.
And I think he's going to realise it once he sees it come down.
And that's it's understandable given the morning he's had.
Yeah. Hard not to untilt. It's very difficult to to gain focus and keep his long term.
Maybe they've both gone on a bathroom break.
No, they're returning. They both sat down, so I guess they went to a different computer.
Jason Katz-Brown asked, did he just miss shake here? I really doubt it. I think he thought that a scoring play plus a bingo was his best chance of overhauling Dave, but he's just, I think, been blind to that QI possibility.
And to David's credit, one of the nice things about Novum is unless you're really astute, you got to pay attention to the new creation of QI in 2 spots after that play. Because after Jilted, when you look at that, you think, oh, okay, well, sure, it's dangerous if the L took an eye in front of it, but yeah, you have to remember to look at that spot again.
Well, there's some opinion in the chat that there's no way Dave would have made that play without holding QI back in the lead. I mean, whether or not that's so, Mark should have noticed the spot. That spot needed his attention, whether or not he directly inferred the lead on Dave's part. And in fact, I think KI actually even outscored the play that he chose to make and kept a better lead and knocked out the Q play. So there's just no question that KI was the move there. Mark, his rack's matured nicely now.
A little bit late though.
Yeah, too late.
Yeah, Bax, there is no way he would play Novum if he didn't have QI. What I was trying to say, and I didn't finish my thought, was Mark has to have the concentration to look back at that spot again and realize that QI is now possible where it wasn't before in both directions. So that's to David Eldar's credit, is knowing that Mark is low on time, playing Novum. It's not immediately obvious without looking and focusing there that QI hasn't even set up, whether or not he has it.
It's easy to be a warrior in the comments section when you're looking at this game with no pressure on you, but actually playing it on board 1, especially after taking 2 massive beats. You know, we all watching the game haven't taken those beats. Mark Nyman has.
Yeah. Mark's picked well, but you know that's going to be blocked.
I reckon there's not one player watching this who hasn't made exactly the kind of mistake that Mark Nyman just made to allow that QI.
Yeah.
So I think we should draw the line at just saying it was an error and not really just keep bashing in for it.
Oh wait, someone has pointed out ulcering plays, and Eldar is going to have some trouble blocking both. Actually, you can play across from the ED, perhaps. Hopefully not leaving anything dangling there that will block both lungier and ulcering. Oh wait, sorry. Yeah, ulcering.
Ulcering
is the one to block.
Ulcering is the only bingo on here, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. Lungier, yeah.
And the bag's empty. So this should be straightforward for Dave.
Yeah, so it is a straight up block.
Yeah, so Dave, 53 points. Mark doesn't have much scoring power, so there's only one bingo line on here, and Dave will have no difficulty playing horizontally through the C or the H, or perhaps finding something slightly more creative to block that out and get a comfortable win. But we can expect him to take quite a lot of time here. He's been playing for spread very diligently.
lunch.
I'm going to let you see this one out, Jesse, if that's
Sure.
all right.
Alright, Chris is going off to grab lunch here, and pretty much everyone else in the room has, except for our 2 players on board 1. So just to recap for anyone who's joining us a little later on, due to Nigel's 15 or so point win over Esther Perrins, and then Harshan Lanavarusuria's win over Saidu Ayrinde, we've got our top 4 slightly separated from the pack. It'll be Nigel and David Eldar both a game up on the next 2 below them, which are Mark Nyman and Esther Perrins. Let me just look back at the standings here quickly. Lunch should be going until 2:15 to keep on schedule, and it's 1:33 local time. So it's going to be a fairly short lunch for these 2 players on the top board. What about just pledge? You can just play pledge at 4H. I mean, it's not a great leave, but it scores. It just doesn't leave anything to go out with, ideally, I guess would be the problem with that. Aaron, I assume the Quackle arrow at 5C is just Henry having heard earlier commentary and seen the chat that perhaps he's assumed that the play from Eldar will go there. But it looks like he's made a move to play Pledge based on where he's put his letters on the board. Yeah. And that's the one I prefer, especially if I'm not 100% sure that I'm not putting out a letter that can be played through. I'd be playing something like this where I'm more certain that I'm blocking. Yeah, that was my thought as well, Chris, was that I couldn't see any blocking play that allowed for an out and two, so perhaps some of the hesitation was figuring out if he could go out and two, but likely concluded that he could not. Suggestion cheekily of 5A Nigel as Mark's outplay. So David Eldar is reaching for the result slip, just waiting for the last official move to go down on Eldar's behalf. And yeah, it's a theme, Jason, for sure. Giving up spread at the end as a result of previous slow play. So just waiting for that final move to go in for Eldar officially, but certainly no danger of losing there. Win by just over 50 points puts Eldar solidly into the lead with gets about an 800 or so spread differential over Nigel at this point. Don't have updated standings online for you yet, so we'll have those for you hopefully after lunch concludes here, which is in just a half an hour before the players go back onto the tables. So we're going to grab some lunch here. It's 1:45 p.m. local time. We'll be back at 2:15 local time, so in just a half hour we're going to have the next game for you on board one, which should be a series of games between David Eldar and Nigel Richards. Till then, Jesse signing off. We will talk to you again here soon.